Hey guys, this is Jason Morris with Real Estate Agents That Really Work. If you guys are seeing this presentation and this webinar, then the reason why you're seeing it is because you downloaded my pre-listing package, which is free, by the way. And if for some reason you did not get it, go to jasonmorrisprelistingpackage.com. I'm sure that as this thing gets passed around the internet and downloaded and stuff, there'll be a lot of people watching the video that did get the pre-listing package. So just go to jasonmorrisprelistingpackage.com if you didn't. So there's one thing that I do believe that we all have to have, and this is the webinar. I want to show you how to use your pre-listing package, why to use it, and I want to show you some steps and some tips for setting up your own or filling out my template. So one thing I believe we have to have a listing system, okay? A system is what's going to allow you to figure out what's wrong in your process. So if you're going on appointments and you're just showing up doing whatever you feel like doing, when you get there, then chances are you're not having a lot of success. And when you don't have success, you can't really figure out what the problem was. Now, if you had more of a system, and you went on 10 listing appointments and every single one of them, you got the same objections, you got the same questions, you got the same answers to your questions, what you'd be able to do is you'd be able to figure out what parts you need to tweak, what parts you need to change, what you need to add to it to overcome the objections before you even get them, you know? So that's what a system's going to do to you. And that's one of the things I teach a lot in my group coaching is these systems and how to set up your own systems cost effectively. And we'll get to that just a second. So I've got this belief, and this has been from doing real estate 12, 13 years, 14 years. We do not sell houses. What we sell is a service that sells houses, and we get paid on that service's performance. So, the thing is, when we're setting up our system, we have to have a system that you just plug houses into. That's the way we make our business scalable. And that's the way you go from taking one listing a month to taking 10 listings or 20 listings a month, is making your system scalable. That way you can just add to it rather than, I see a lot of agents, they do this and they show up at a house and they come up with their marketing plan there on the spot. And the thing about that is every house is different. Then you got to remember what you promised the seller that you were going to do. What this pre-listing package is going to do for you. It's going to help you put together your service. It's going to help you put together, basically, my favorite line to tell sellers is, hey, I'd like to send you over my pre-appointment package. It tells about me, my team, and what we do to sell houses. And this is what this is going to do for you. It's going to tell people what your service is that sells houses. So actually it's going to do more than that. 6 things a pre-listing package is going to do for you. I put this in here because I want to show you how valuable this resource is and how valuable of a tool this is. Guys, I tell people over and over again, this is the number one tool in my toolbox. It gets me listings over other agents all the time because other agents don't have anything to send people. They have nothing that tells about their service. So number one, this pre-listing package is going to give you confidence. You're going to show up. You're going to be prepared. You send this out before you get there. Once you hang up the phone with people, you actually send it to anybody that you talk to that wants to sell a house. But the number one thing it's going to do is going to give you a lot of confidence because you don't have to worry about doing a big presentation. You don't have to worry about, did I forget anything? You don't have to worry about anything, because you already have it there and they've seen it before you even showed up at their door. So they already know what you're doing, why you're there, how you're going to do whatever it is you've told them you're going to do. But it's going to give you a lot of confidence. Number 2, having this package is going to make you look extremely professional. Think about this. In the sales profession, we are probably the only sales profession that does not have sales material. Or the average agent doesn't. Well, most agents don't have any sales material. They'll spend all this time looking at stuff and coming up with stuff and working on their blog and stuff, but they don't really have any sales material that talks about what they do and what service they offer clients. If they do, it's typically not targeted, or it's typically has so many focuses in it that it doesn't make sense. But number three, it's going to establish expectations for your client. Guys, here's the thing about your pre-listing package. You put things in it, the things in it that you are going to do for every single listing. If you don't want to do it, then you don't put in your pre-listing package. Like for example, if you have an amazing open house system that you love doing over and over again, then you want to put it in your pre-listing package. If you don't do open houses, then you don't put it in your pre-listing package. It's really just that simple. This sets expectations for your client. It lets them know what you're going to do. Typically, the way I respond when clients say, oh, well, how do you market? Well, we market two different ways. One, we market to the general public looking for all buyers for your house. And number two, we market to other realtors looking for other realtors with a qualified buyer. However, my pre-listing package outlines our whole plan. I can send it over to you by email. Guys, number four, it saves you time and appointments. And here's the thing. When you show up to an appointment, I had to learn this. This is probably one of the most valuable tips that I can give you in this. I had to learn this. I would show up to appointments, and people would love me. I'd sit there. We talk about their kids. We talk about their favorite sports team. We talk about all this fantastic stuff. And I mean, they're inviting me to dinner. They're asking me if I want to go fishing with them. I mean, it would get extensive sometimes. And I'd spend the whole afternoon. And the thing is, 2 weeks later, they went and listed their house with somebody else. And the reason being is because they just assumed that probably everything I was going to do was going to be extremely long, and, they can't get rid of me. The truth is, the only reason there's only two reasons why you're even at their house. Number one, the only reason they have you there is because they think you can sell their house, or at least something you told them on the phone or wherever you got their number from or contact information. For some reason, they think that you can sell their house. And number two is it's your job to sell houses. It's just like a doctor. You might know the doctor. You guys might have a lot of friends in common. You might even be friends and hang out on the weekend. But when you show up to their office, there's only two reasons you're there. Number one is, only two reasons you're there. Number one is you've got a cold and you think that he can give you something to fix it, or you got a sore throat. Number two, he's only there because it's his job. You're only going to these people's house because your job. It's not not a social visit. So in reality, if you're sitting there, you're spending an hour or 2 hours at listing appointments and you're not getting the listing, it's because you're overstaying your welcome. This pre-listing package is going to cut your time way down. You're not going to have this big presentation. I remember several years ago, there was one company that had these big easel boards they would set up in people's living room. With using a pre-listing package, this is your marketing presentation. So number five, this package establishes value. One of the number one objections we get on the phone is all agents are the same, or what do you do different? Well, this shows what you do different. This establishes value. It's a written format, so there is no guessing. There is no anything. This is what I do to sell houses. Then number six, your pre-listing package builds trust. Okay, guys, this is the only thing we really have left in the real estate industry. We used to be the gatekeepers of information, and we're not really the gatekeepers of information anymore, because all the information is available, and it's going to get more and more available. With websites like Zillow and Truly, and honestly, there's probably something out there we don't even know about yet, right? Technology is advancing at a pace that's amazing. This pre-listing package, what it does, it makes everybody feel comfortable. They know what you're going to do for them. It builds trust. It's not you just saying it. You actually have it in writing that you're going to do it. Now, here's the thing. 99% of agents have nothing to send a seller about their services. They have nothing. So The greatest, my favorite script. This is my favorite script I want to share with you guys. So when I know a seller is interviewing multiple agents, or a seller goes, when I'm on the phone with them and I'm talking to them and they say, oh, well, we think we've got an agent picked out, or we've got an agent in mind we want to use, I always say, well, that sounds great. Why don't you get them to send you their written marketing plan, and I'll go ahead and send over mine. That way you can lay them side by side and compare. And you wouldn't believe how many times when I'm following up with that person, I say, oh, well, did you get their marketing plan? They say, oh, well, they didn't have anything. And you go, oh my gosh, well, I hope they're not going to just poke a sign out in your yard and pray that something happens, And that must be what they're going to do, because they don't have anything in writing that says what they're going to do to sell your house. And it's really that simple. If they don't want to put their marketing plan in writing, then that must mean they're not really planning to do anything for you. I mean, sorry, that sucks. I know they were your friend, or I know they were your coworker at your other job, So who do you send this package to? You send it to every single person that wants to sell a house. If it is your cousin and they say, hey, I think I want to sell my house. I'm thinking about selling my house. You go, oh, that's fantastic. I tell you what, let me send you over some information about me and my company and just what we do to sell houses. That way you're setting expectations, because I tell you what, the number one thing that you don't want to do is have expectations that you can't meet. And I've been guilty of this, and all of us have. If you've been in the business long enough, you promise the world to somebody, or promise the world to a seller, and you cannot deliver. You just don't have time. That's it. You just don't have time to deliver. So you send this to every single person that you can. Every person that wants to sell their house gets a copy of your pre-listing package. Okay, so guys, so you have my template. It's at jasonmorrisprelistingpackage.com. I just want to make sure. So I want to give you 3 tips to building your own pre-listing package on this call today. Okay, number 1, your pre-listing package, it needs to be short, because let's face it, I've seen some fantastic pre-listing packages, because a lot of you guys have sent me yours and you want to share me examples and stuff, and or you want to share. And that's fantastic. I know some of you guys are really proud of them because you've spent a lot of time doing it. But let's face it, there's no need for it to be over 10, 15 pages, because if it is, nobody's going to look at it. Guys, here's the thing. If somebody you don't really know sends you over a PDF that's 60 pages, 12-point type, all words, no pictures or anything, what happens to that? I mean, even with good intentions, even things I've downloaded off the internet that I really wanted to read, I open it up and I see 60 pages in a PDF that I got to sit and read on my laptop or read on my phone. It's not really formatted to read on my phone. Guys, I don't read it. I just hit delete. And everybody's like this. I mean, it's not just me. I promise you, every person is like this. If you make it over 10 to 15 pages, it's not getting read. So it's going to be, it's kind of useless if it's over 10 or 15 pages. Plus, it's going to be, when I've been to people's houses, I've seen they had them printed out, laying on the table. Sometimes I want to print mine out and mail it to people. And if it's over 10 or 15 pages, it's really difficult to do that. Okay, number 2, don't make it too fancy. Okay, here's what I mean. Okay, lots of times your client will print it out. I've seen this a bunch of times. Okay, sometimes you want to print it out. Okay, if you make it too fancy, like I seen an agent, they worked for a specific brand and franchise that their big color was red. So they made all the background red. Or like the slide presentation, I think it looks fantastic. I had it built on Fiverr. It's blue and has my little Jason Morris Group logo up in the corner and all this fancy stuff. But here's the thing: if I tried to print out this slide presentation, I've done it in color, man, it's going to cost me a fortune in ink. If I do it at home, the fancier you make it, the harder it is going to be to to print out and send to people, or the more expensive it's going to be. One of the things that I've always used as a rule of thumb, even though we don't really send faxes nowadays, is I format everything like this with the anticipation or the idea that maybe one day I got to fax this to somebody, right? Maybe I got to fax it to somebody. I'm probably going to have to print out, because I'll tell you guys this, for those sellers that you've been following up with and you can't really get in touch with, printing out your pre-listing package, stuffing it in one of those big brown envelopes is a fantastic mail piece. And the fancier you make it, the more colored backgrounds and stuff like that, it's going to be more expensive to print. It's going to not look as good. It might look fantastic on your computer screen, but it's not really going to look that good, printed. So number 3, okay, I should have expanded this into number 3 and number 4 as I'm doing this presentation, but okay, don't overcomplicate your listing process, because your listing process needs to be really, really scalable, guys. And here's the thing, the basic list of services, and that's what that template is that I gave you, is the basic list of services I provide. If I want to add to it, that's fantastic. If I don't want to add to it, that's fantastic too. I've set your expectations, for the minimum. And that's what you want to put in your pre-listing package. You want to put the minimum service that you're going to provide. Now, here's one thing that I see agents do, is they take their listing process and they make the thing so damn expensive that they can't take but 1 or 2 listings a month. So, and I talk about this a lot in my group coaching, where we see agents and they believe they have to have professional photography for every single listing. They got to have drone footage for every single listing. They got to have, it used to be the talking box that sits out front, but there was all this stuff they got to have. So what ends up happening is, on day 1, the day you take the listing, it's already costing you $500. Okay. And if you're taking 1 listing a month, that's not that bad. But if your listing process, let's just say you've promised drone footage, a staging presentation, and professional photography at every single listing. So I don't know about in your market, but in my market, that would cost me about $400, $400 to $500 a listing. So if I'm going out here and I'm listing 12 to 15 houses, man, that's going to cost me, at $400 a piece, it's going to cost me $5,000 to $6,000 a month. So you could easily put yourself in a situation, especially if you're a new agent, where you're going, man, I'm having the month of my life. I've listed 10 properties. It's only the 20th. I know I could go out there and get 11th. I could probably get a 12th or 13th. I'm just on fire. But damn, if I do it, I'm not going to be able to pay my car payment. I'm not going to be able to pay my cell phone payment. So guys, think about that in your listing process. You need a listing process that's scalable, not only in work that you do, but scalable in cost. Guys, the worst thing that I ever done was, I went to this mastermind group. These guys sat around and they talked about how fantastic flyer boxes were. And at the time I had like 50 listings. So I get back from the mastermind and I was sold on this 800 number with flyer boxes. And I don't know if anybody's doing flyer boxes and they're really successful for you. Don't let this discourage you. But so I was sold on this. I get home, I order 50 flyer boxes. I go out, stick them on all my listings, print out flyers and all this stuff. Go out there and I'm sticking them in these things. And on my new listing appointments, I'm selling my sellers on, how fantastic my flyer box is and all this stuff. And the thing about it was, I'd sold these sellers on this flyer box on, this is, a great tool that's going to help get your house sold. So when those boxes got empty, those sellers were blowing me up on the phone. So what I ended up doing was creating this incredible amount of work for myself, because what would end up happening was, some weeks with 40, 50 listings, I would spend, and my assistant would spend all day riding around putting in flyers on these flyer boxes. And honestly, what was happening with most of them were they were being taken by kids in the neighborhood. I get a few extra calls on them here and there, but my process was so labor intensive. And honestly, like one flyer box isn't expensive to keep full, and it isn't hard, like if it's close to your office or close to your house. But when you get 50 flyer boxes, I mean, it starts adding up. Printing costs start adding up. So what I did was I had made my listing system, and it actually costed me listings. I just didn't have time to go out and prospect and stuff. So what I did was I made my listing process so complicated, and I sold those complicated labor-intensive parts so hard that everybody expected that was the one thing that was going to sell their house. Just like open houses. The thing that I don't like about open houses is, for most of you guys, most agents listening to this, they're individual single agents. Now, if you got one listing and you do an open house, that's not a big deal. If you're taking 10 listings a month, 12 listings a month, you don't have enough Saturdays and Sundays to do it, plus do all the other listings you took last month, So the system isn't scalable. The only way it's scalable is if you get other agents to help you. And then that means you got to build a team. That means you got to support. That means you got to add a lot of costs to your business that you may not be ready for. So, but you can use this package, and you can build your listing presentation and your listing system to where it's scalable, not only time, labor, but money too. You know what I mean? If you're just getting drone footage for every listing and you're listing 10 properties a month, that's going to cost you $2,500 extra a month. The thing about that is, I've never heard anybody that's buying an average priced home say, man, I really like the home 123 Main Street, but I can't buy it because it doesn't have drone pictures of the roof, So guys, how can you customize this for cheap? This is the only thing. I'm not even really selling you anything here. But this is the only thing. I had somebody ask me, what am I selling you? But here's the only thing. Okay. If you want to customize your listing package, something really fancy, you want a really nice logo, like you see mine. I had a letterhead done, and I had some logo and stuff that I already had. Guys, go to Fiverr. This is my Fiverr link, jasonsfiverrlink.com with 2 R's in there. Only thing it does, when you click on it, you use Fiverr, I get a credit. I believe that you get a credit too, but I'm not sure. But that's the only thing. I use Fiverr all the time for stuff. It's great, especially for graphic design stuff and stuff like that I just don't have time for. So guys, one other question I want to ask you before we end this. I don't want to make it too long, but how can I help you with your business? If you have any questions, you have anything I can help you with, just go to jasonmorriscoaching@gmail.com. And like I said, I'll help you offer group coaching. Right now, my group coaching, we do something every week. I'm in the process of reformatting that for 2018 to make it even bigger and more exciting and offer more value to my coaching clients. But if I can help you with your business, I'm looking to build my team across the country. If you think that's something you're interested in, or I can help you with your business just starting out, just go to jasonmorriscoaching@gmail.com.